So remember how I said I would have a book talk up next week, and then 4 months happened? Yeah, sorry about that. Couple things. I said earlier in second video that I got a new job, switched jobs from that. Hopefully I'll be back to a regular reading, shooting, uploading schedule soon. Also, I'm going to do a lot more crafty things, which I will get to in a minute. But just overall, I hope I'll be back online more soon. I also got a haircut this morning that it's like cut quite a bit off and still getting used to how short it is again. Anyway, let's get into this. This channel is called LitCritKnit, and this book this week is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And there's quite a bit that can go along with that. Don't panic. Don't forget your towel. 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Things like that. But there's a couple other things, including yarns and knitting patterns. And so that was a little bit why it took so long to get everything together. It's because I was working on the first LitCritKnit knitting pattern. So this one, I did not design this by any means. I found this on Ravelry, and the pattern is called Hitchhiker. It's part of a trilogy in 4 parts, a trilogy of patterns in 4 parts. And I will link all of them down in the underpants below. But yeah, so this first one is called Hitchhiker. It's the simplest one. I really like it. The shawl is very warm. It can wear kind of like a scarf, which I also really like. But it's called Hitchhiker because there's supposed to be 42 of these fun little notchy things. The yarn I ordered didn't have quite enough yardage, so there's only 39.25 in this one. But the yarn I ordered is by LadyPurl on Etsy. I'll link her down below as well. And it's called Don't Panic, which is also a Hitchhiker reference. Ooh. So yeah, with all of that being said, just let's get started with the actual book talk part of the book talk. Alright, so Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy initially started as a radio series. Douglas Adams wrote the book, and it was first published in 1979, and Douglas Adams actually died in 2004, so we missed the movie. The book itself, like this actual book, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, slightly different from the in-universe book, is actually the first in a trilogy of 5 parts. The other ones being Don't Panic, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. And I don't remember the others. I'll insert them right here. The titles right here of the entire series. Anyway, and you can kind of tell that it's sort of, it's the first book in a series because it feels very world build-y and not very plot-y. So Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is an in-universe guide, and it was basically an ebook before that was a thing. Like, the description of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy sounds basically like an itty-bitty Kindle. And it has a storage space of an itty-bitty Kindle, except the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is so massive that only if it had the Kindle size memory, it would only fit that one Hitchhiker's Guide. So this guy called Ford Prefect, he was stuck on Earth for 15 years because he was updating the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and he was stuck because his pickup ship never actually came. So that's a bummer. And then Arthur Dent is a human. Ford gets communication that Earth is about to get blown up, and he basically takes Arthur and leaves. The other sort of iconic thing is Vogon poetry, which is notorious for being absolutely atrocious and akin to torture. So there's that. And they encounter the Vogons, and then they try and talk their way out of the Vogons, and then they read the poetry anyway, and then it doesn't really work. And then there's this other thing about the Heart of God, which is like this miracle ship, and so anything that's like, if they have the improbability drive on, then the most improbable thing within those odds of like several million to 1, that'll happen. And so anyway, they get picked up by this Heart of Gold ship. On it are Trillian, formerly Trisha McMillan, who Arthur had met before, and Zaphod Breedelbrock, who's like the two-headed crazy ex-president of the galaxy. And then they land on Magritha, which is a planet where they made other planets. Then they land and everything sort of starts waking up again, and it turns out that even though Earth got blown up, it was like seconds away from being like the central thing to life, the universe, and everything, like aside from the number 42, which was calculated by this supercomputer that took several thousand years. Anyway, Arthur, being the thing that most recently departed Earth because Trillian had left many, many years before, these mice decided that they wanted to pay Arthur to remove his brain. And because they claim that he isn't using it. And mice are apparently like this super race now, apparently. And so then they escape, and Martin, the super depressed robot, is able to help them in the escape. He's felt like he's useless until this point, except by talking to this one ship and being so depressive that the ship died. Anyway, so they make their escape and head to the restaurants at the end of the universe, and that's where that ends. Alright, analysis. Again, it feels very much like the starter novel for the rest of the series. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's definitely like an interesting sort of ride. And the humor is also very much like 70s, 80s British humor. Like, my mom didn't really like it for that reason, but I really liked it because of that. So it is very much like a sci-fi humor of its time. But again, it does feel very much like the first book in a series, and sort of makes me wonder why the internet only recommends the first one instead of the entire series. And this is the second time I've read it. The first time was a couple of years ago. But yeah, it was definitely worth the reread, and I really liked it, but I don't necessarily think I'm gonna check out the rest of the series, just because I have 40 other books on my TBR list, and that's not counting the stuff that I want to read on my own. But yeah, overall, I liked it, and if you're interested in sort of just a light, funny kind of read, check it out. If you're interested in a very warm and simple to work up shawl, check out this pattern. It's on Ravelry, which is free to join, but this pattern does cost a bit of money. It's only like $5 though. And it's such a simple pattern that you'll be able to make it up and then like make up another one for your friend and make up another one for all your Christmas presents. Maybe not Christmas presents. Definitely check this out. Check out the other patterns as well. Again, I will link all the things down in the underpants below. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again. Bye!